The difficulties so many students had during the pandemic have not entirely disappeared just because they're returned to in-person learning. That's especially true for special needs kiddos. For the parents of those children, the struggle to get their kids the educational resources they need to keep engaged and keep pace can be really difficult. This is exactly the kind of story we've been highlighting with our Destination Education series. This morning, our colleague Christy Fajardo explores why for those families, back to class doesn't really mean back to normal.
Even though you're struggling with that, you still need to put a happy face.
Lucia Bab Rodriguez is all too familiar with mom guilt. Her 10-year-old Star Wars fan from the San Gabriel Valley has autism. And even as other kids headed back to the classroom, she worries in-person learning is too risky for Ian, who has severe asthma and is too young for the vaccine. So for now, he's sitting out the start of the school year.
And it makes you feel even bad as a parent, that it's not happening. It makes you feel like you're not doing it right. You're not fulfilling the needs of your child.
Trouble is, Ian's individualized education plan, which dictates his instruction, doesn't include Zoom school. He's getting tutoring while his mother lobbies to get the plan changed.
I need to be on the phone. I need to be emailing. I need to be on it every day.
Her case is far from unique at the nonprofit where she helps champion kids like hers. Fiesta Educativa empowers parents, particularly those in underserved Latino communities, to advocate for their special needs children. The full impact of the pandemic on these families is still unknown. But while most parents had to step into the role of tech support and even teacher, special needs families also had to fill the shoes of educational and health aides, which could be why, during the pandemic, a school in LA County for special needs kids had a bigger drop in attendance than surrounding schools. We aren't naming schools in the story because people we spoke to say the problems are widespread.
Now, more than ever, schools need to collaborate with families.
Samantha Taves is an assistant professor at Cal State Northridge who surveyed parents of special needs kids about the pandemic. She found 89% reported increased mental health problems in adults in their home. Most had trouble sleeping, and almost half had an increase in physical strain as they cared for disabled children on their own. And she says even a return to in-person learning is complicated by COVID.
A lot of families were worried about their children who are under 12 and not able to be vaccinated, but have existing health conditions. A lot of students with disabilities also have different health concerns.
For example, children with cerebral palsy are at increased risk for pneumonia, and sensory issues, lack of muscle tone, and drooling make it tough for some special needs kids to wear masks.
He was doing great before COVID, and then the pandemic hit.
Carolina Navarro is grateful her 8-year-old is healthy enough to be back in the classroom in Victorville. She says this smiling child was so anxious during online learning that he was biting himself. All the screen time too much for Eduardo, who has autism and ADHD. But she knows there are new challenges ahead.
There are all of these little pieces that make your journey hard and sometimes stressful.
She says her son is high functioning, which makes Eduardo ineligible for some services, but he struggles in regular classrooms. That's why, like her colleagues at Fiesta Educativa, she and Lucia now educate others about the laws and their rights. They say parents should ask about their options and remember, every child is entitled to an equal education. And even when families feel powerless, the law empowers them.
This is not a normal time. And that's what I want people to understand. This is not a normal time. You're not the only one who's struggling.
Our thanks to Christy for that incredible report. We want to share that website, super helpful, one more time for those of you at home, fiestaeducativa.org, right there on the screen. Hopefully it'll be a great resource for all of you.